walking down the street. Yeah.
2 men, 25. Straight down.
Goddamn hand cap.
You're a smart motherfucker.
This sounds like you actually have something to say.
Fuck me, Jack Rabbit. Straight down.
Dirt.
Oh, fuck me. Do you ask? I'm the fucking master. Fuck me, Jack Rabbit. Straight down.
Dirt.
Oh, fuck me. Do you ask?
Fucking good milkshake.
Done and just want that. Done want that.
Bunch of fox.
Done and want that. Done want that. Done and just
Goddamn hand cap.
done want that.
Bunch of fox.
Done and
Goddamn hand cap.
done want that.
You better wanna soon.
Goddamn.
You better wanna.
Goddamn.
You better wanna soon.
Goddamn.
You better wanna. Goddamn.
Let's go.
Say what again? Say what again? Say what again? Motherfucker, say what again? Say what again? Say what again?
Fucking good milkshake.
Fuck me, Jack Rabbit, straight down. Oh, fuck me. Do you want my son?
That's a little bit.
Fuck me, Jack Rabbit, straight down. Oh, fuck me. Do you rate vengeance and furious anger? Say what again?
Bedside tape on the kangaroo.
Say what again? Say what again?
Bedside tape on the kangaroo.
Say what again? Say what again?
It's one of those
You better wanna.
walking down the street.
Goddamn.
It's one of those
You better wanna.
walking down the street.
Goddamn. You better wanna soon.
Goddamn.
You better wanna.
Goddamn.
You better wanna soon.
Goddamn.
You better wanna. Goddamn.
Fucking good milkshake.
This is a tasty burger. 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 Say what again? Say what again? Say what again? Motherfucker, say what again? A bitch, say what again? Say what again? Say what again? Say what again? 25. Straight down.
Want that.
Walking down the street. Yeah.
2 men, 25. Straight down.
Goddamn hand cap.
You're a smart motherfucker.
This sounds like you actually have something to say.
Fuck me, Jack Rabbit, straight down. Oh, fuck me. Do you ask? I'm the fucking master. Fuck me, Jack Rabbit, straight down.
Dirt.
Oh, fuck me. Do you ask?
Fucking good milkshake.
Done and just want that. Done want that.
Bunch of fox.
Done and want that. Done want that. Done and just
Goddamn hand cap.
done want that.
Bunch of fox.
Done and
Goddamn hand cap.
done want that.
You better wanna soon.
Goddamn.
You better wanna.
Goddamn.
You better wanna soon.
Goddamn.
You better wanna. Goddamn.
Let's go.
Say what again? Say what again? Say what again? Motherfucker, say what again? Say what again? Say what again?
Fucking good milkshake.
Fuck me, Jack Rabbit, straight down. Oh, fuck me. Do you want my son?
That's a little bit.
Fuck me,
Wall Street.
Goddamn, you'll be a woman soon.
Goddamn.
You'll be a woman.
Goddamn.
You'll be a woman soon.
Goddamn.
You'll be a woman. Goddamn.
Fucking good milkshake.
Ooh, so what's going on YouTube? You're watching Exquisitemad. What's going on? Hope y'all are having a good night tonight. We're going to get into some straight news, and it is going to be some pretty cool stuff. Always some cool news and cool information. So it's going to be pretty neat. Just 1 second here. So, first thing that we're going to get into aviation news. So this is general aviation news. This is AV Group for jet parts. That's an ad there. So, picture of the day, magic moments. David St. George submitted this photo note, tips and tricks from our readers. All right, so Alabama airports contribute $4.9 billion to the economy. That's a lot of money. So people don't think about airports being a huge factor into supplying money to the economy, but it's there. Airports support 44,399 jobs and almost $268 million in tax revenues. So that's a big deal. That's January 14th, 2021. Besides that, Garmin adds new earning. So we're going to get into some other news. Here we go. So High doubles down on-person March Heli Expo show. This is today. This is today's news. So this is what was going on around the world and also right here. So the Helicopter Association International said this morning it remains committed to holding its annual Heli Expo. It expects to lose money on the event. The city remains under phase 1 COVID-19 restrictions. Quote, our industry needs to boost right now, and it has always been our responsibility to help members keep their rotors turning. Well, the expo, mass social distancing, we really don't care about that. So doubles down on in-person March Heli Expo shows. So there's going to be another one in March. It's going to be pretty cool. So definitely want to be there. So just to kind of let y'all see, looks like it's pretty cool. Kind of zooming in. All the major helicopter manufacturers. Norwegian to shut all long-haul operations. Now, if you're not familiar with Norwegian, it is a commercial airline, and Norwegian Air will close all long-haul operations and concentrate its efforts on dedicated short-haul network in Europe with Boeing 737s. The low-cost airline announced Tuesday the move comes after the airline reported a 94% increase in passenger numbers and 98% decline in revenue. Passenger RPKs during the month of December, as it flew just 9 airplanes out of a fleet of 132 Boeing 737s and 787s. In response to the COVID pandemic, the group grounded its entire fleet of Boeing 787s in March last year and began returning airplanes to their leasers this month. So the way it works is that with some of these airlines, and the same thing with charter companies and the airlines, not all of them own the aircraft. The aircraft are owned by a different individual or a different firm or a different company. And then they lease it to that company, another operator, who then uses it as an airline. So that's what this is saying. So the airline's new business plan for Norwegian, they're going to have to reform. That's what this is saying. They're filing for bankruptcy. We've seen this in November. Norwegian initiated equivalent of Chapter 11 bankruptcy process in Ireland. It's a big airline. You have to watch what's going on. This is the money. You know, don't talk about politics on the channel. Absolutely not. No politics. But this is business. This is aviation. This is auto. We're going to get into auto here in just a few minutes. So I'm going to get through the aviation news. Boom. So Safe Flight by expands Lore Group's aero products. I don't know who that is, but it controls the manufacturer of Safe Flight Instrument Corporation. Dassault. Now this is interesting because Dassault makes a lot of big jets. They make a lot of big jets that are out there, and they're used in commercial. They're used a lot in general aviation, and people can privately own them. They are available for purchase, which they're awesome jets. I mean, they're awesome. I love working on them. Good quality. Dassault Aviation has consolidated its MRO sales operations into a single organization for customers in Europe, Middle East, Africa, and the Asian Pacific, and the French airframer announced this week. The new organization brings together MRO sales operations, Dassault Falcon service, tag maintenance services, and Exojet MRO services. So, latter of the two, which Dassault acquired in 2019. So they did an acquisition, 2 companies there. So Dassault said the consolidation will enable operators to choose from a wider range of C-check venues such as DFS, Dallas-Fort Worth, Le Bourget, Boudreaux, TMS Geneva in Farnborough, Exquisitemad in Dubai, and Cerna in Lampedusa. Further consolidation allows Dassault to provide operators more information on the availability and modifications of cabin, avionics, and other upgrades across the MRO footprint. So that's pretty awesome, y'all. Pretty awesome. So moving along here, got Honeywell. Honeywell makes air filters. Honeywell makes a lot of cool stuff, but a lot of people don't know Honeywell makes a lot of avionics, and they make a lot of stuff for aircraft. So for the people that don't know, that's what they do. So a lot in aerospace. So unveils 4th generation cabin compression system. So that's pretty cool. This is fully electric and requires less maintenance than previous versions. It improved reliability and capability to detect and report any failures or issues. This makes it 30% lighter than the previous system. Hey, it's all about weight. All about weight. Now this is interesting. CDC calls for negative test for PAX flying to the U.S. So for packs flying to the U.S. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the CDC, issued an order on Tuesday requiring all air passengers entering the U.S. to provide proof of a negative COVID-19 test or recovery of the virus. Effective January 26, 2 years or older will be required, and to provide written documentation with either electronic or paper of a negative result from a test taken within 3 days of the flight's departure or recovery of the virus. Order builds on requirements for the UK placed on commercial passengers. It's for commercial. So, it's just for negative tests, which is good because we need to know who's coming in and out. But honestly, you know, there's a lot of illnesses that we're at risk of having. You know, and a lot of stuff that people have overseas, I mean, we get it here in the States, could be kind of bad. And vice versa. If you're over in Europe and someone comes from another place, you know, from one of these other countries, the population isn't used to the viruses and the bacterias and the illnesses, and, you know, it could be bad. How autonomous flight could soon revolutionize air cargo services. Wouldn't trust that yet. Let's just see what this is, y'all. Oh no, I ain't with that. It's interesting, y'all, but the thing is that we're way, way far away from that. So, let's move on. Ooh, this is cool. Let's take a look at this. Apache triumphs in Australian attack helicopter competition. See this. This is pretty cool. Alright, so this is helicopter news. Ooh. Defense considered a normal helicopters against key criteria of proven ability, maturity, and off-the-shelf operating system. Tiger replacement project designated a project land 4503 calls the whatever 29 AARHs to replace the 22 Tigers. Alright, not going to read all that, but Lockheed Martin. Here we go. This is actually pretty interesting, y'all. So let's see. Lockheed Martin F-35 deficiencies, 2 fewer in 2020. 871 issues remain. Lockheed Martin managed to reduce the total number, get out of here with that ad, managed to reduce the total number of identified problems with its F-35 Lightning II stealth fighter by 2 in 2020 through though 871 deficiencies remain. This is according to the Director of Operational Test and Evaluation's 2020 annual report. This thing has cost so much money, y'all. So much money. And for it still not to really be in full operation, It's awful. It appears Lockheed Martin saw more than 2 deficiencies in 2020, where it was discovered additional problems, which meant the total number of open issues only fell slightly. Listen to this. Lockheed Martin says approximately 100 new deficiency reports were written in 2020. About as many were resolved and adjudicated. Problems include 10 Category 1 deficiencies, 3 less than 2019. There's currently no Cat 1A risk to life for Lynn and 10 open Cat 1B mission impacts deficiency reports. 9 of these have closure resolution plans and 7 already delivered to the government awaiting action. It's being reviewed by the Joint Program Office. Indian Airlines braces for some stuff. Delta Airlines. We all knew that the airlines was suffering, but this is this is amazing. Delta Airlines 2020 loss tops $12 billion. It's bad, y'all. Let's see. Ooh. All right, so American Airlines in no rush to make pilots get vaccinated. American Airlines has told its 15,000 pilots that COVID-19 vaccination is personal choice and that they decide to have one. Could they please do it in their own time? American Airlines has no current plans to make it mandatory for pilots to get vaccinated. At the same time, nearly 11 million Americans have received the COVID-19 vaccination. So Tracy Radesky is reporting from Reuters about a memo sent to American Airlines pilots and senior management. Your decision, quote, your decision to take the vaccines is a personal decision and is currently not required by the company, the memo says. As such, if you elect to take the vaccine, you should schedule it on your days off. So it does not impact your ability to be in place and operate your scheduled flying given the 48-hour requirement. There's an FAA rule, of course, that saying that pilots can't fly for 48 hours after receiving a COVID-19 vaccination. Forgive me, y'all. Gonna back that thing up and get right back into the news. All right, here we go. We're gonna boil these down because this is interesting news. UK bans travel from 15 South American countries and Portugal. Ban will come into effect at 0400 UTC on Friday, January 15th. That's tomorrow. This ban is in response to the threat posed by a new coronavirus variant in South America and to countries with strong travel links to Brazil. That's a big boy right there. On the ban list is Argentina, Brazil, Bolivia, Chile, Cape Verde, Colombia, Ecuador, French Guyana, Paraguay, I think I said that right, Portugal, Peru, Suriname, Grenada, and Venezuela. Which I didn't have any plans to go into Venezuela. I don't know about y'all, but, didn't have any plans to go in Venezuela anytime soon. Travelers who have been, transited through any of these countries in the last 10 days will not be able to enter the United Kingdom. Excluding the ban from British and Irish nationals or third country nationals. With residence rights in the United Kingdom, they will be allowed to enter but must isolate at their primary residence for 10 days. And all household members. Okay, whatever. All right, next. Delta Airlines is getting revenue premium for block seats. Now, if you've flown lately on an aircraft, they block off certain seats in order to allow for social distancing, supposedly on some of these aircraft. Now, when I flew, it wasn't like that. I should say when we flew, it wasn't like that. But let's see. The airline industry for last year has been shaken up due to the ongoing crisis. Borders remain closed. Entry requirements continue to change. Smooth to block middle seats. So, Glenn Hostine, president of Delta Airlines, stated at the following airline's fourth quarter and 2020 earnings call. And despite having meaningfully less inventory per sale, giving our middle seat block, we outperform on passenger revenue generation in the first 9 months of the year. This is testable to customers' willingness to pay a premium for the Delta difference. Closer look at the airline's financial results show that despite turning a net loss of about $12.4 billion, the airline's passenger revenue per available seat mile, PRASM, was about 9.59 cents. It's down about 38 cents from 2019's 15.35. This is all commercial stuff. It's interesting, though, to see what's going on, especially in the commercial world, to know, because airlines have a direct impact on our economy. If the airlines are doing bad and aviation is doing bad, our economy is bad. So it's very, very important to be up on top of aviation news. So even if you're not into it, it's good to know. It's good to keep up on it. FAA gets tough on troublemakers with stricter unruly passenger rules. This is for all commercial. This is for commercial stuff that we're covering in this segment. Wednesday, the agency's administrator Steve Dickinson cited an order for a compliance and enforcement program which could land officers with up to 20 years in prison. Offenders with 20 years in prison, forgive me. This is a measure that was necessary because people don't want to wear a mask. And recent violence at the U.S. Capitol. So they're putting in more regulations. It's for safety. FAA will move straight into enforcement for anyone who interferes with, physically assaults, or threatens to physically assault an aircrew or anyone else on the aircraft. Penalties include fines up to $35,000 and jail time up to 20 years. Sorry about that, I don't like that music. I'm sure you didn't either. So I'm gonna keep it moving. Here we go. Ooh, I like that beat. Y'all like that beat? I like that beat. Flying is the safest mode of transportation in order to keep it that way. Okay, cool. This is their tweet. Twitter tweeting. It's the FAA, everybody. Alright, so I'm gonna back up. Emirates plans to operate entire fleet by 2022. It's gonna be interesting to see. Because the Emirates, of course, that's the Emirates. I mean, you can't beat it. Supposed to be the best. We'll see. Delta Airlines posts $12.4 billion loss for 2020. Hopefully they get better. IAG has shipped over 1 million COVID vaccines. It's pretty cool. Nhtsa's kids fly free to Abu Dhabi campaign. It's pretty cool. Look at that. That's a pretty cool air show right there. Let's just see. Here. That's pretty cool. That's a new promotion that sees kids flying free when adults book flights to Abu Dhabi or Dubai. The promotion is valid for bookings made in the next 2 weeks and for children up to 11. Around the world, airlines are seeing are seeking to try and stimulate travel bookings. Following the worst crisis ever to hit the aviation industry for many airlines, this has included flexible rebooking policies or offering COVID-19 insurance to cover passengers if the worst should happen. However, UAE airline Etihad is taking a slightly different approach. So, if you're on there and you want to fly, you fly for free. They're doing that the right way. That's why you have to be dressed out, y'all. Wow. Look at the look at this airline, y'all. Look at this. That was pretty cool. I don't know if y'all got a glimpse of that. That was pretty dope. All right, so $408 per adult from London Heathrow, however you want to say it, to Dubai is only $408. You figure it's about $1,200 right now to fly to Dubai if you wanted to. Look at that jet. That is gorgeous. That is beautiful, y'all. That's a beautiful paint job. That's a beautiful picture. Look at that. It's pretty cool, y'all. Pretty cool. Oh my God, look at that. 2020 was Boeing's worst year on record for order cancellations. People just aren't buying the jets. No demand. No demand. Commercial aviation has been suffering, everyone. It's been suffering real bad. Boeing's 2020 was not a year the company will remember fondly. Plane maker suffered its worst year on record for cancellations despite securing a flurry of MAX orders. The Boeing MAX. If you didn't know, the MAX had a lot of problems and a lot of issues, a lot of safety issues, and they had that resolved, and supposedly they have more orders. But overall, the company's backlog has been reduced by a staggering 22% in just 1 year. Just 157 aircraft delivered. 2020 was a tough year for all in aviation, but for Boeing, the situation was doubly bad. The 737 MAX remaining grounded for most of the year and demand for wide bodies non-existent, Boeing buckled in for one heck of a bumpy ride. The results published this week show just how tricky things have been. Over the whole year, just 157 aircraft were delivered, a drop of almost 60% from 380 delivered in 2019. This represents a third of the number of aircraft delivered by rival Airbus. Yeah. So the gross orders, 184 aircraft, including non-commercial, during 2020, lowest since 1994, including a flurry of orders for the 737 MAX secured in December. So that's good. We're going to bounce back. It's going to come back. Our economy is going to come back. Everything's going to be A-okay. It's just going to take a little while. It's a lot of news all in one day, y'all. England delays start of mandatory pre-flight testing. No more cheap transatlantic hops. Norwegian moves to short haul. Austrian Airlines will retire its first Boeing 767 in March. Story of Delta flight attendant Grandma Jackie. How Indigo took 44 Airbus A320neo family aircraft in aviation's worst year. It's interesting. Airbus 321s for Allegiant. Do not rule out, says carrier. It's a lot of information, y'all. A lot of info out there. A lot of stuff happening. A lot of stuff happening. Featured Aerospace. Now, this is interesting because if anyone remembers, there was a supersonic aircraft called the Concorde jet. You know, so if anyone that is tuning in, if you didn't know, now you know. But it was commercial. So, let's see here. This is Airlines' drive to get into supersonic service by the end of the decade has dictated everything from aircraft design to targeting business aviation market. It's going to be very interesting. From Bombardier to Boeing, with shuttering its Seattle Area Advanced Development Composites facility, and no subsonic passenger aircraft currently expected from legacy OEMs until later half of the decade at the soonest. So, speculation into the future. Nobody knows. Automotive news. Automotive, y'all. Automotive. Gonna get an automotive. Who's this guy? This guy looks like he's happy. Let's see what's going on with him. Oh, it's Kia. Motors. Kia drops motors from the name on path to rebrand. BMW, Audi pull plug on vehicle subscriptions. GM Mole's expanding Corvette line with electric crossover. Since everybody likes Corvettes, we're going to talk about Corvettes. How about some Corvettes, everybody? So, let's get straight into it. Oh, yeah. Corvette. General Motors is working on a strategy to build at least one new electric vehicle inspired by its Corvette sports car. Potentially expanding the brand from a single performance model into a family of vehicles. People familiar with the matter told Bloomberg. If the plan is approved, most likely model will emerge later this decade. It'll be a marriage of a crossover and a sports car. It's going to be interesting because this thing is already pushing a lot of. So Ford Motor Company recently launched an electric crossover called the Mustang Mach-E. So Lamborghini debuted an ultra luxury utility vehicle called the Urus. We already know about all that, but it looks like even though GM is looking at doing this with their Corvette, Ford beat him to the punch. With the Mustang Mach-E. Seven hours ago. Toyota to pay $180 million in U.S. mentioned settlement. It's a lot of money, y'all. Michigan supplier showcases technology to fight distraction and virus. Inside Hawaii's push to develop smart roads that talk to driverless cars. That's going to be pretty cool. We're going to go right back to that. Alright, so let's get into this right here. Alright, well, it wants me to subscribe. I'm not subscribing. So we're just going to keep it moving. There we go. Ooh, we got a recall. Nhtsa asks Tesla to recall 160,000 Model S and X vehicles over faulty screens. Oh, that's lovely. That is lovely. Let's see. Problem lies with the media control unit that runs the central display screen. If it fails, the screen goes dark, which means that neither the backup camera nor my climate controls can be displayed. There's no way to turn on a defroster or defogger. Review camera and defroster required by federal law. That's why most cars, even those with video screen climate controls, have separate defroster button. It's not good, y'all. That's not good. Want to drive a Ford Bronco before your friends? Rent one on Turo. Not giving a promotion to Turo. If you want to go check out Turo, you can check it out. Kit. So for auction. Let's see here. This is the Knight Rider. So the actual Knight Rider, it appears to be an exacting replica of the hero car from the 80s drama. They want $475,000 for it. There we go. It's pretty cool, y'all. Hasselhoff will personally drive the car to its new owner if the price exceeds 25% of the over reserve price. It's pretty cool, y'all. Plus, the 1971 Range Rover SUV is made even better. Got a roof. It's a 2021 Boxster. It's pretty cool. So, I'm going to be talking about safety recalls today. Gonna get into the latest recall cars. Here we go. Tesla is recalling 158,000 vehicles over failing touchscreen. We just seen that. Chevrolet Bolt recalled with over fracturing brakes. 464 owners of the Bolt EV will be informed the recall affects their cars. Engine issues prompted 2 recalls on the Ford E-Series. It's not good, y'all. Bugatti recalls a Chiron and Devo over the drive shaft issue and the ESP malfunction. Recall over Kia 295,000 vehicles over connecting rod bearing problem. It's not good, y'all. This is not good. Connecting rod bearing issue prompts Hyundai recall in 129,000 vehicles. A Lamborghini recalls a Urus SUV over fuel line connector issue. Nhtsa expands fuel pump recall to 3.5 million vehicles in the United States. So if you got one of them fuel pumps, might want to get rid of it or bring it in. Airbag saga continues. GM recalls 5.9 million vehicles in the U.S. So this is interesting, y'all. The Chevrolet Bolt. That's not good, y'all. So the engine issues prompt 2 recalls of the Ford E-Series and Explorer and Lincoln Aviator. This is not good, y'all. Covers the thermal management. May 11, 2019 to November 13, 2020. Misposition installed on the underside of the engine cover. Chance that the heat in the engine compartment might raise the temperatures in the corresponding passenger compartment area. So it could raise the temperature level can be higher than the vehicles have a stationary elevated idle control or battery charge protect. The company said that there are over 29,000 vehicles in the U.S. and 2,000, over 2,400 in Canada affected by the recall. 20 to 21 aviators. I know a few people that have aviators. This is stuff that we need to be paying attention to, folks. Let's see what's going on with Bugatti. Everybody loves a Bugatti. Let's see what's going on with Bugatti. Even though it's the best name in the hypercar business, Bugatti isn't without fault. Certain Chiron Sports, and Devo models for the U.S. market are under recall for 2 different problems, starting with the manufacturing defect that allows 4 units of the W-16 land missiles. It's crazy. According to Bugatti, a rear left drive shaft broke during a customer drive on November 8th. German companies CP Tech and GmbH analyzed the component, identified a process issue, and arranged to deliver drive shafts. Placing the assembly takes approximately 7 hours of labor, but customers don't have to pay a single cent for the repair. Would hope not. As for the second recall campaign, 17 to 21 model years were found not to comply with Federal Motor Vehicle Safety Standard 126 regarding the function of electronic stability control. When in drive mode selector, the handling mode ESC fails to switch back to the default mode after the ignition cycle. Population of vehicles were determined to be all delivered cars between December 21st and 2017 and November 2nd, 2020. As suspected, to fix this non-compliance defect comes from the guise of the software update of the electronic stability control. You know, if you're not familiar with the Bugatti, it's a $3 million car with over 1,400 horsepower. It's just, it's crazy. It's crazy. So, pretty much has been today's news, y'all. That's pretty much covers it up for today's news. If you have any questions or comments, you can definitely leave a comment in the comment section. Get back to you. Going to be having more information on more news, you know, in the coming days. So hope y'all enjoyed. Hope y'all definitely enjoyed this. I know I did. Very, very interesting. So appreciate all the support. Be sure to like and subscribe. Remember to hit that bell. New videos coming soon, and new time-lapse videos, how-to videos, and things like that. So If you want anything covered on the channel, just drop a comment. Till then, appreciate it, everyone.